How's it going, friends? I'm going to talk about the Spanish general election, but first I got to get this Giorgia Meloni thing out of the way. Now, immediately after she became prime minister, illegal aliens from the third world began flooding into Italy at the highest numbers in years. And I talked about this before. I said that undoubtedly these wealthy and well-connected NGOs are pulling out all the stops. They're doing everything possible to bring in more illegal aliens to Italy. There could be other European governments helping. But I said she has to get this under control and fast. Well, not only did she not get it under control, but she has just taken the mask off and she says that Italy needs more immigrants from the third world and that we need to create new pathways for them to come to Italy and the rest of Europe legally. This is a 180 reversal of everything she stood for. And frankly, most of the other stuff she's doing right now is a complete reversal of the things that she has stood for the past 15 years, ever since I've known about her. When she was poised to gain power, the European media said this was the return of fascism, and she was supposed to be the female Mussolini. Well, instead of a female Mussolini, we got a Lindsey Graham type figure. Essentially a center-left, open borders, warmongering neocon. And I don't know what's going to happen. This is the biggest black pill I've ever reported in the history of this YouTube channel. Frankly, her own coalition should do a vote of no confidence and just collapse the government. I mean, this is like everything that the ruling coalition was supposed to stand for being thrown in the trash. Now, here's the three main parties in the Spanish general election. You get the People's Party, which is the establishment center-right party. Then the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party. You get the conservative Vox or Voice Party. And then this is a new alliance of far-left parties. It's essentially replacing what used to be called United Left. Now, the European media was predicting that the People's Party and Vox would together gain a majority and could take power from the Socialist Party. They didn't get that majority. They fell a little bit short. What it looks like now is probably the Socialist Party is going to just barely cling to power, but they're going to be beholden to a bunch of teeny tiny parties, and it's going to be a super fragile ruling coalition that could collapse at any time. And this election itself was held early. It was supposed to be held at the end of the year. After the May regional elections, the Socialist Party did so bad that Sanchez, the prime minister, called for an early snap election. And there's a bunch of theories about why he did that, but essentially he thought that he would do better in July than he would do in November. Now, last May in the regional elections, not all the regions voted, but well over half of them did. The People's Party and Vox jointly won a majority in a bunch of the regional parliaments. Now, here's a before and after. 12 regions held elections last May. The People's Party and Vox held a majority in 2 of these regions. They flipped 6 more. They went from 2 to 8. Now, one region is not shown. Canary Islands was also flipped, but it did not fit in this picture. Now, in 2019, Vox got 15% in the general election, and it was considered a huge deal. They had only been getting teeny tiny percentages in regional parliaments. Well, this time around, they got much higher percentages, but then for whatever reason, they didn't do as well in the general election. And the bad thing is they only came down by about 2.7%. They lost about 18% of their share of the vote, but they lost like 35% of their share of the actual seats. So they went from 52 seats to 33, which was a big loss of seats. Now, the People's Party had a massive gain of seats. One reason for this is because some people are moving away from the socialists and the far left parties to the center right. Also, the Citizens Party has gone completely defunct and didn't even run. And so the Citizens Party used to be a big coalition party. It's basically a pro-business liberal party. Now, in Europe, liberal doesn't mean the same thing it does in America. In America, we use liberal as a euphemism for leftist, but that's not what it actually means traditionally in Europe. Here's the totals. So there's 350 seats. You need 175 seats for a majority. So the combined seats by the People's Party and Vox are 6 seats short of a majority. The Socialist Party and the alliance of far left parties is very short. However, most of the rest of the parties, a lot of them are very left wing, and most of them are regional parties. So there's 2 different Basque parties, there's 2 different Catalan parties, there's some other teeny tiny regional parties, I think. Now, here's the weird issue with Spain. In a lot of places, greater regional autonomy and even secession is something that's championed by conservatives. In Spain, it's the exact opposite. Now, Spain is supposed to have a very high degree of regional autonomy, but some regions basically want to become their own country. And keep in mind, there's a lot of teeny tiny countries in Europe, and you've got Montenegro is a brand new one. And you've got countries even much smaller than Montenegro. You got Andorra, San Marino, which is like one city, Monaco, which is like a tiny city, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg. So you've got a bunch of small countries. Well, Catalonia would actually be bigger than all of those if they seceded. But this is something that's extremely controversial to conservatives in Spain. They're dead set against any more regional autonomy. If not, they want to roll it back and give the federal government more power. So even though the People's Party and Vox only need 6 more seats, I don't really see how they're going to get them. Because I don't think that any of the Basque or the Catalan parties are going to form a coalition with them. However, as I said, what's probably going to happen is you're going to have this extremely fragile ruling coalition where Sanchez and his Socialist Workers' Party are going to be beholden to a bunch of different teeny tiny parties that are going to be making wild demands, and everything's going to fall apart in 6 months. That's frankly probably what's going to happen. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below, tell me what you think about all of this. And you can support me on Subscribestar or Patreon. And please subscribe to my backup channels on Odyssey, BitChute, and Twitter, now known as X. And click the subscribe button. New video every few days.